the Cowboys will open up at their own 15. 1st and 10. Smith, the lone back. Right in motion. Play action. Aikman. Complete to Johnston, and Johnston has the first down, plus about 5. Cowboys opening up nicely against the defense of the Packers.
And the quarterback of that Green Bay Packer defense is free safety Chuck Cecil, and they'll be looking to shut down that fullback out of the backfield and tight end Jay Novacek. Up front for the Packers is Sarah Tuaolo at nose guard, and Robert Brown are very strong run guys. Inside, Brian Noble and Johnny Holland are guys today that will be heavily challenged by a big Dallas Cowboy line. In the backfield, look for the safeties, Cecil and Murphy, to have to support a lot for the run on Emmitt Smith.
Out of the I formation, and Smith trying to break loose of the tackle of Brian Noble. Goes ahead for 1. Give Noble the credit for tripping him up. We'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Emmitt Smith has run better on grass this year than all of last season, averaging 147 yards on grass. That compares with 77 yards last year as you take a look at Jimmy Johnson in his 3rd year as head coach here.
And the maturation not only of Emmitt Smith, but Troy Aikman have made Jimmy Johnson's job on the offensive side of the ball a lot easier. These guys are having great years so far.
2 tight end formation on 2nd and 9. Aikman to Novacek, and Novacek stopped quickly by Mark Murphy after a 4-yard pass play. We'll bring up a 3rd and 5.
A lot of blitzes coming in here on Troy Aikman. Get a blitz here, coming up right here at Troy Aikman. Cecil's moving over for protection. Aikman sees it, he reads it, and he dumps this thing off quick. Look at Bryce Pop, 95, just gets bumped. Wide open right there for the tight end Novacek. Murphy gets over to make a tackle.
Tommy Agee, the lone back. 3rd and 5, 6 defensive backs for the Packers. Aikman throwing it incomplete. The intended receiver that time was Kelvin Martin. Kmart defended by Jerry Holmes. So 3 and out for the Cowboys, and last on that 2nd series there, and the Cowboys will punt it away. Mike Saxon on to punt.
And Visekahema for the Green Bay Packers is looking to have a little bit of a redemption day today after that big fumble last week against the Rams that pretty much cost the Green Bay Packers the game.
Sikahema not noted as a fumbler at all. I believe that was only the 2nd in his career as he takes this one from his own 27, and he's driven back. Nice hit applied by Darrell Johnston. Nice special teams coverage by the Packers. Make that the Cowboys.
Hey, how many cooking classes have we taken together?
Well, we are getting pretty good at this. We should open a restaurant.
Open a wine and we'll talk about it.
There is a wine that's perfect for the lighter, more delicate flavors of today's cooking.
This is a great Sauvignon Blanc.
It really makes a dinner, doesn't it?
I'm taking credit for the scallops.
Who gets credit for the wine?
Me.
Of course.
Ernest and Julio Gallo present their 1989 Sauvignon Blanc. It's time for a change to Gallo.
2 minutes into the first quarter of play here in Milwaukee, no score. As you take a look at today's inactives.
The big one there being Don Majowski, but everybody you see on the screen there is normally a player that the teams count on.
Blair Kiel getting the starting nod for the Packers in place of the injured Don Majowski. Kiel making only his 3rd start career-wise. Two tight ends, Ed West and Jackie Harris. First series for the Packers from their own 26. And Woodside taking it up near the 30. And the offensive line that's been under a lot of heat for poor run blocking of note there. Billy Ard making his 2nd career start at left tackle in place of the injured Ken Rutgers. An anemic running game. Keith Woodside, Alan Rice, the receivers, Sterling Sharp and Perry Kemp. 2nd and 6. Ball at the 30. Kiel back to pass with time. Going upfield looking for Sterling Sharp, but overthrows him. A little miscommunication that time between Sharp and Kiel. And Kiel last week, if you take a look at Sterling Sharp, was 11 of 15 for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And he'll be testing this guy right here, Isaac Holt, starting at left cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. Up front, really the strength of this Dallas Cowboy team, and inside, Casillas and Jimmy Jones are the best players on that front line. And Jack Del Rio, the middle linebacker, he benefits from that because he's able to scrape on the runs. Keep an eye on Ike Holt and Larry Brown, who is a rookie and will be tested.
3rd and 6. Kiel. Complete. Is it enough for the first down? And Clarence Weathers looking over at the chains, and it looks like it is enough for the first down. So Weathers did a nice job of running his route, getting just enough yardage for the first down.
And what we saw Green Bay do there is something they're going to have to do a lot today, James. You know, they're very predictable. First play, they either run off tackle right or they run off tackle left. They did that. They got 3 or 4 yards. Then they went to the passing game. If Green Bay wins this game today, they're going to do it in the air. They're not going to do it on the ground against this Dallas defense.
Lindy Infante, 4th year as a head coach here. Last season, mark of 6 and 10. 1st and 10. Allen Rice and Woodside, the backs. Packers from their own 37. And Kiel. Intended receiver again was Sterling Sharp, who slipped on the run. Now, Randy, we noticed the receivers having some problems with footing earlier, but that was on the infield, not so much on the grass.
And it was mainly the Dallas receivers that were having a hard time slipping and falling. But remember on Sterling Sharp did not practice much this week. Last week against the Rams, it was sort of warm, but Sterling Sharp cramped up very badly on the bus and on the airplane coming back to Green Bay. Didn't get a chance to practice much because his muscles were so sore from that cramping. So he's just now starting to stride out, get stretched out, and get the feel after not having gotten any reps.
You said there's nothing like a body cramp.
Yeah, it's one of the worst things you ever feel in your life when you get that dehydrated and you cramp up.
2nd and 10. Rice, the lone back. And Dallas will be whistled for the penalty at a time. 3 penalty flags everywhere, unless they were drawn offside. Just take a look.
It would appear Ken Norton on the near side and somebody on the far side jumped well before the snap.
Prior to the snap, still 2nd down.
Stan Kemp, our referee, making a call against Rich Moran, the 7th-year player out of San Diego State.
And he can't understand that. Wait a minute. Those guys on the other side were moving first, and I can't move then? No, Rich, you can't. You got to stay. It's one of the bad things about being an offensive lineman. They can throw stuff at you. They can move. They can do the old flinch thing in your face, and you just got to stay completely calm.
Ball moved back to the 32. 2nd and 15 for Green Bay. No score. First quarter action. 11:15 remaining. Kiel getting plenty of time and throws it low in the direction of Allen Rice. So Blair Kiel, who had his passing rhythm last week when he came in relief of Don Majowski, having a little trouble getting uncorked here.
Well, if any of you young quarterbacks out there happen to be watching that particular pass by Blair Kiel, pretend you didn't see that. That was, he was getting good protection up front. He pump faked, and when he pump faked, he saw that that guy wasn't open, and he went to throw it out in the flat, and when he threw it out in the flat, he was completely flat-footed, throwing off his back foot, and every time a quarterback does that, he has to throw the ball on the ground. His body mechanics will not allow him to complete that pass.
3rd and 15. Kemp to the near side. 6 defensive backs for the Cowboys. And throws it complete to Clarence Weathers, and he's going to be well shy of the first down marker by at least 4 yards. A gain of 11 on the play, but it'll be punting time for the Packers.
In this game, James, you got to understand, Green Bay has a very good run defense, so they can afford to play field position with the Cowboys. They're going to be nailing the Cowboys back deep if they can prevent a return, and next time they get the ball, if they stop the Cowboys, they'll get in better and better field position.
Nailing deep has been what Paul McJulian has been doing as we take a look at Derek Shepard back to receive the punt. McJulian. High one. Fair catch. Signal. And Kurt Larson for the Packers downs the ball at about the 16-yard line. Now, what the fans are screaming about is whether or not the ball actually touched the leg of Derek Shepard.
And if it did, you aren't going to hear him say, yeah, I'm sorry, it did. We'll take another look at this. You know, he's fair catching. He doesn't want to catch it. All of a sudden, at the last minute, he realizes the wind has got this thing. Watch it bounce, right? No, it never touched him. It was close enough to make everybody from Dallas a little bit nervous, but it's Green Bay ball.
It's about style. It's about power. It's about control, the security of standard anti-lock brakes. It's about $12,000. The all-new Grand Am Sport Sedan. Excitement with purpose.
Miller Lite goes to millions of parties a year.
These guys want to go to all of them.
They can't stay long.
Everywhere you go,
everybody's drinking it.
Oops. You don't say beer now, you say light.
Miller Lite.
It's it?
And that's that.
It was awful. My car broke down and no one would stop to help. Worse, I was out of state and the repair place insisted on cash. Oh, for a friendly face. Thank goodness I bank at First Interstate. And thank goodness for Anna Moreno. Without a hitch, she cashed my personal First Interstate check and helped me find a nearby mechanic to fix my car. Now that's extra mile service.
If you want extra mile service, come to First Interstate Bank. We go the extra mile for you, guaranteed.
Cowboys look out on that punt as the ball did not touch Derek Shepard. So the Cowboys will take over at their own 18. Look, not a big factor in terms of where the Cowboys are in the standings. They're playing well.
But look at those Giants. They're not playing good, and they've got all sorts of dissension going on in New York. The dreaded unidentified source or a player who asked not to be mentioned. You see that start coming up in the newspapers. I don't care how good your talent is. It's pure dissension. And in the NFC Central, Chicago, nobody's surprised by that, but their record may change today when they meet the Redskins, who I think are going to have a good chance of beating the Bears. Detroit, that is a shock at 4-1, especially if you watch that first game against Washington, where the Redskins shut them out 45-0.
Green Bay's defense nearly shut out Emmitt Smith. A gain of 1 brings up a 2nd and 9. Aikman back to pass. And Aikman throws in the direction of Jay Novacek, but again, Randy, we were talking about the footing, and a little surprising, you were down on the field prior to the game. Did the grass look to be that slippery?
The one thing about the field here in Milwaukee that is different, the grass is a little bit longer than your normal field. A lot of that has to do with baseball, but it is not wet. It was covered the last couple of days when it was raining here, so there's no real excuse outside of the fact that, you know, Cowboys, they only practice on grass. They don't play on it. There's that wonderful infield. Isn't that great? Believe me, you land on that, you leave skin on that infield. That hurts.
I'd imagine so. And in defense of some of the receivers, it did drizzle slightly before the game here. On 3rd and 9. Aikman pressure from Pop. Incomplete, flag on the play.
I think we're going to have a little illegal contact downfield on the Green Bay Packer defense, James.
Ball was thrown in the direction of Kelvin Martin.
One thing to remember, though, after the quarterback leaves the pocket, you can't have contact with the receiver. So it's a matter of when that contact occurred. Did it occur while Aikman was still in the pocket or after he had already scrambled? Well, they want to get over where there aren't any players. And I got news for you guys. The players are going to follow wherever you go. They want that last say, that little input that might make a difference.
We'll find out if it did.
Holding, number 25, defense, automatic first down.
And that's Vinnie Clark, #1 draft choice for the Packers, a rookie out of Ohio State.
Well, you can make contact downfield, but, you know, Vinnie, you're a rookie in Ohio State. Maybe in the Big Ten you can hold him downfield, but you can't hold him.
So a Cowboy first down. Ball at the 24. Smith Trying to juke move, and does. Still on his feet, has the first down. Emmitt Smith. Now, Randy, in talking about and with him, many people try to compare him with Barry Sanders. Not quite the same runner, but just as effective.
If you wanted to use one word to describe the difference between Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith, it'd be the quiver. Barry Sanders has the quiver. He can go in all directions at once. Emmitt Smith does not do that. But what Emmitt Smith has, I think he has stronger legs. Now watch him break this tackle by Brian Noble. Noble's hands slip right off. Now you see classic Emmitt Smith. He cannot be arm tackled. You have got to grab him. If you get him high, you better get him hard.
14-yard dash by Smith. 1st and 10. Ball at the 38. To Smith again. Why not try it again? Not quite the same results. Smith maybe 2 yards on the play. Tackled by Scott Stevens.
That was basically the same play twice in a row, James. The difference was the tackle. The first time he broke the tackle. This time he didn't. The Green Bay Packer defense is not always a great defense to try to go back to the well on twice in a row real quick. A lot because they're talent, but mainly because their defensive coordinator, Hank Bulla, he learns too quick, and he has seen everything, and he adjusts in an instant.
The mad scientist. Robert Brown out, Sean Patterson in at right end for the Packers. 2nd and 8. On the ground, Smith. And Smith maybe a yard. Well, folks are talking very highly, of course, about Emmitt Smith and comparing him very favorably to someone else who had a great career in Dallas.
And this is through 20 games. Comparisons like this can be a little premature at times, but it's very interesting to see the comparisons from a touchdown standpoint. What really jumped out at me when I saw this was Tony Dorsett's per carry average. 4.9 yards that early in his career is incredible.
Emmitt Smith leaving the field. Tommy Agee, the back. 3rd and 7.
Cowboy go-to guy is Michael Irvin.
Novacek with a good block. Thrown in the direction of Michael Irvin. And again, yet another slip by a Cowboy receiver. Ball was thrown right there. Irvin was heading in that direction, but again, another foot slip.
It's hard to tell right here if this is excellent defense. Great stance by Vinnie Clark right there. Working against Irvin. Look at that push-off. That would have been a completion. I'm surprised it wasn't a penalty because that was blatant pushing off by the receiver, Michael Irvin there. But that slip made that not a completion.
Instead, Mike Saxon comes on to punt, 7th-year player out of San Diego State. Vi Sikahema back to receive. Sikahema back at his own 20. Nearly blocked that time by Walter Dean. Sikahema from his own 21. And gets it across the 25 to about the 27-yard line as Michael Saxon gets up limping, wondering why no flag. And there's an official timeout on the field.
Let's watch this one more time. Remember, was he blocked into him? Here's the run. They must have ruled that he was blocked into him or that he hung that leg out a little too long. The ref ignored the contact.
On June 23rd, BMW introduced the completely redesigned 325i sports sedan. The press has reacted. Have you? The BMW 325i begins at $28,365.
The Allstate agent who helps insure your car can give you a hand with a plan for life insurance. Your Allstate agent wants to be your agent for life. Allstate Life. Financial strength you can count on.
A recent Department of Energy study reveals that most American homes are under-insulated. And that means you. To find out what's right for your home, call Owens Corning at 1-800-GET-PINK.
Recently, this couple walked out of Little Caesars with extra pepperoni and extra cheese without paying for it. It's lots of 2 pizzas with extra pepperoni and extra cheese for $8.98. So why pay $8.99 for 1 pizza when you can get 2 for $8.98 at Little Caesars? It's like getting 1 pizza free.
Pizza, pizza.
When is a game not a game? Now, watch the Battles of October on CBS.
Packers ball at their own 27. 7:42 remaining in the first quarter. No score. Blair Kiel, that quarterback, looking for Sterling Sharp again. Low throw, and they say he trapped it. Incomplete. So it's apparent that Kiel wants to get Sharp in the game early. But, Randy, you think Mike Saxon might have had a good complaint?
I don't think there is any doubt about it, James. This is blatant roughing the kicker, and they don't catch it. Look at Dean, 42 on the end of the line here. Gap will open up. He'll come right through here, and we're going to stop it right at the contact with the kicker. He is not touched. He is not blocked. He runs it right into Saxon's leg clean. Watch this. He lays out. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't take an IBM troubleshooter to figure that one out. I mean, that was roughing the kicker. He must have been asleep not to call that one.
IBM troubleshooter. Flag on the play as Kiel goes up top for Sharp. And he drops the ball. Sharp with a nice attempt at an over-the-head catch defended by Larry Brown, but there is a flag on the play back at the 30.
And if this goes against Dallas, that's against Green Bay. I was going to say, if this goes against Dallas, that was a fabulous play by Brown, because that ball was caught by Sterling Sharp and it was stripped out by Brown.
Speaking of Larry Brown, Jimmy Johnson had nothing but positives to say about this young man.
Illegal formation on the offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
That'll do it.
It's either the old offensive line flying wedge, actually. Here, let's see it one more time. Watch this. Over the shoulder. Good concentration. But watch the hands of Brown. Look at that. He bats that thing right out because that was a catch. There were 2 feet down inbounds.
Third and 10. Kiel out of the shotgun. Throws it incomplete, and there's a flag on the play as Clarence Weathers had his hands on the ball, and James Washington very upset as we take a look at Vince Albritton being led off the field with a sling on that left shoulder.
And Washington obviously doesn't agree, but I think they were all over the receiver on that one. That was an easy call.
Pass interference, number 45 on the defense. Automatic 1st down.
Manny Hendricks makes the error and heads off the field. Let's watch it one more time. Blair Kiel in the pocket, zips this thing. Probably was not a catchable ball, but what the call was that Hendricks was making contact with Weathers from behind before the ball got there, and he was.
Ball marked at the 37 of Green Bay. 1st and 10. 7:28 remaining. No score. Quick out to Woodside, and a quick hit applied by Isaac Hope. And Hope was not the 10 to 15 yards off we have grown accustomed to seeing him.
Not as much as you'd think. They do play soft, but I tell you what, you got to listen here. They play soft. Guys filling up. Holt's having a hard time. Why don't we listen to what this contact sounds like? Because Blair Kiel thinks he's got an easy play. That's called getting a face full right now, Mr. Woodside.
Face full. 2nd and 7. I guess that was a birthday hit applied by Hope. 29th birthday yesterday. Woodside. And Woodside gets up near the 1st down marker. 7-yard run. That may be enough. But in the meantime, let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, JB, at the Silverdome in Pontiac, from 11 yards out, Darren Nelson scores the Vikings' first touchdown in 11 quarters. And with the point after, it's Minnesota 7 and Detroit nothing. Back to Milwaukee, JB and Randy.
Darren Nelson's doing his Freddy Krueger imitation there in Minnesota, back from the dead. Thought they got rid of him. He's back again.
I'm sure a lot of people thought that.
hard to get rid of those Stanford guys, though. I mean, they can always think of a way to come back. Very astute people, those.
Well, I tell you what, if that's not a first down, it's by the width of an ant's, shall we say, leg, huh?
I always kind of laugh when they do those measurements like that. You know, they keep stretching. That chain is metal. It's not going to stretch out any further. Just put the sucker down, and let's see if it's a first down or not.
But last week, we saw them actually tilt the ball forward.
Reports to an eligible position.
So Lindy Infante looks at a third and, well, we'll call it an inch.
In this situation, your best running back is your quarterback. The tackles will be pinching on defense, but they should be able to get this much.
Dean and Workman. Workman the tailback in the eye. And it's Workman. And Workman has it. So Vince Workman with the handoff gives the Packers a first down. Packers trying to break a scoreless first quarter trend that has plagued them since December 22nd of last year. Last game they scored a touchdown in the first quarter. And December 30th when they had a field goal in the first quarter.
A lot of their problems, too, have been not only turnovers, James. They've had touchdowns called back by penalties. They've had balls dropped. If anything wrong could go wrong so far for the Green Bay Packers, they've got to figure they've got most of them out of their system right now.
Danny Noonan out, Jimmy Jones in. At tackle for the Cowboys. Rice goes nowhere, among others. Tony Casillas in on the tackle. 56,000 on hand here at Milwaukee County Stadium for this battle between the Cowboys and the Packers. James Brown along with Randy Cross. No score here in the first quarter. 5:03 remaining. And Randy, your thoughts on the way things have shaped up in the early going here?
Well, so far Green Bay has played a ball control, kind of a field position game with the Dallas Cowboys. They know their defense can stop the Dallas running game, or they hope it can. So far it has. And Green Bay's field position has improved little by little each time they've gotten the ball.
Sterling Sharp to the far side. Rice, the lone back. Kiel finally connects with Sterling Sharp for the first down. And with that reception, Sterling Sharp keeps his consecutive game reception streak alive at 45.
I don't think I've ever talked to a wide receiver that's more concerned about a consecutive game reception streak that is so short. I mean, it's only 45 games. What's he got, about 150 to catch larger? One more time from the end zone. Blair's getting the blitz, and he steps up. What we're seeing is something that we weren't expecting, to be perfectly honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. The Green Bay Packers are testing the rookie Brown, and they have left Isaac Holt alone on the other side, unlike the previous 5 opponents of the Cowboys.
Packers in Cowboys territory. Ball at the 36. First and 10. This is Rice. Flag on the play. And Randy with the good eyes, signaling that it's a holding call.
Somebody had a little too good a grasp of their technique on that last play, I believe, in the offensive line.
Too good a grasp, huh?
Yeah.
What penalties? Playing havoc with Green Bay in the early going.
And when you're talking penalties, life
Holding.
is timing.
Number 57, offense. Repeat first down.
And Rich Moran off to a bit of a slow start today. He's had an offsides and now a holding. But these penalties that come against the Packers, no penalty comes at a good time. But for the Packers, their penalties come at terrible times. That was a bad time. And they get a lot of their penalties in the first quarter. And as a result, how many points have they scored in the first quarter? The old goose egg.
Zippo, third penalty in the first quarter. Blair Kiel, 4 of 9 for 36 yards. First and 20. To Woodside. Woodside pushed out of bounds at the 39. I'll make that the 41. Isaac Holt pushing him out. Pick up a 5 on the play.
Yeah, we were talking about Rich Moran, and it's only natural to be a little bit nervous, a little bit antsy, because he is working in there against the strength of the Dallas Cowboy defense. And the strength of their defense is that interior with Del Rio and Casillas and Jones and Noonan and Maryland when he's in there. And the guards and center of the Green Bay Packers will be tested all day long.
2nd and 15. Kiel looking for Sharp, overthrows him, and Sharp clearly frustrated with the miscommunication between he and Kiel. He didn't even attempt to jump at that one.
Sterling is a veteran. Look at him smiling. Sterling is also a smart veteran. You see a ball up there 8-9 feet over your head, why jump? Jerry Rice found out last week against the Los Angeles Raiders why you don't jump for balls like that, because when you come down, it's usually on the back of your neck. And things like that really hurt. So Sterling didn't bother.
Smart move, huh?
All right.
3rd and 15.
He's probably telling Blair, though, if you're going to throw it away, don't throw it away in my direction.
Keep it low. 3rd and 15 from the 41. And Kiel throws it momentarily complete to Perry Kemp, who was anticipating the hit, and Isaac Holt obliged him.
Very nice play by Isaac Holt. He's doing what he told us yesterday when we talked to him. He says, hey, I've got to go back to my game. If I gamble and I get beat, that's okay by my standards, but I got to be aggressive. And here is a nice aggressive play. Look at him coming up there on Kemp. If Kemp would have caught that ball, Isaac Holt would have found a way to either strip it or knock it out.
Yeah, let's give Holt some credit. Looking aggressive and good in the early going, and boy, has he been burned all season long. Said the second game of the season against the Redskins was the start of the slide. Paul McJulian on to punt for the Packers. Good high one. And Horton lets it drop. There is a flag on the play back at about the 44-yard line.
Where they drop that flag, James, that's got to be a legal man downfield on the punting team. They seem to go to the same part of this field here in Milwaukee to conference. Is there some sort of point of light over there in the corner that...
I guess it's got the conference room marker headed in that direction or pointed in that direction. And Infante obviously not pleased with the foul-ups on the part of his team.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. The penalty is declined.
And that's just the guys next to the center weren't lined up close enough to the ball. That's a very simple thing.
It's stuck. You see? Yeah. Every channel. Light beer. Light beer. Well, we're going to have to drain it. Grab anything that'll hold beer. Oh, and call some friends over.
Will you look at that? Yeah, I'm looking.
Miller Lite made beer better.
The great Pilsner taste keeps you ahead of it all.
Everybody likes that.
You don't say beer now, you say light.
The beer that beers become.
Miller Lite.
Is it?
And that's that.
I got a call from one of those other long-distance companies, you know, save big time. Leave AT&T, so I say, I don't pay a lot with AT&T. Thank you. My call waiting clicks. This is funny. It's so weird. It's another long-distance company. So, I mean, can you imagine? I'm like, hello? Well, no, I already have a good deal. Could you hold? I already tried you guys once, remember? Could you hold? Well, I didn't say big last time. It's still there. Give me a break. They're just not AT&T. Are they, boo-boo?
On June 23rd, BMW introduced the completely redesigned 325i sports sedan. The press has reacted. Have you?
The BMW 325i begins at $28,365.
You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
Randy, as we take a look, the only stadium in the NFL where both teams share the same sideline.
It can be a real distraction for a young, inexperienced team like a Dallas Cowboy team. They're not used to it. Dave Wanstead, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, says we're kind of worried about our players treating this almost like a preseason game with a festival atmosphere in a baseball stadium.
1st and 10 for the Cowboys. Pitch back to Smith. And Smith ahead for maybe 3 yards.
Well, before that carry, Emmitt Smith had 3 carries for 3 yards. He's going against the best rushing defense in the NFL. They're averaging 2.5 yards per carry against them. And we also saw early Dallas recognizing that, trying to flip the ball out to Emmitt Smith, out in the flanks, trying to get him outside and use him so he doesn't batter him up front.
Brings up a 2nd and 7 for the Cowboys. Ball at their own 23. 2:01 remaining in the first quarter. No score. Kmart in motion. And the pressure was on, but complete to Irvin, and Irvin has the first down and gets up near the 45. Mark Murphy running them out of bounds, but boy, Troy Aikman has shown all along throughout his young career that he will stand there and take the hit in order to get rid of the ball.
You know, kind of like a heavyweight boxer, he can take a hit. Watch Murphy come right. Oh, that's Matt Brock, not Murphy, came right up the middle and put a spanking on him. Now here comes Murphy to make the tackle on Michael Irvin to push him out of bounds. Great job by Troy, though. Troy is the kind of quarterback that has so much confidence in his own ability and so much guts and stamina. He will stand there and take hits. I don't think more than 1 or 2 other quarterbacks in this league will do.
Confidence certainly describes the picture you just saw there, the one of Michael Irvin. 1st and 10. And complete to Novacek. And Novacek has yet another first down for the Cowboys. So Troy Aikman marching the team nicely.
And in the normal Dallas Cowboy offense, according to offensive coordinator Norv Turner, the tight end is a checkoff guy. He's your second guy if your receiver is not open. If your back's out in the flat, you want to throw it to him and he's covered, you go to your tight end guy. He says, today, watch us get Novacek. We're going to split him out wide. We're going to start expanding his role in this offense. And they got him outside wide. There's Norv Turner on the left side there with his chewing on his fingernails there nervously. But they want to do that so they can use a nickel look on 2nd and 1st down.
Alfredo Roberts, Jay Novacek, 2 tight end formation here. And Smith picking his hole, heading to the outside. And gets slightly past Scott Steven and dragged down by Scott Steven. But an 8-yard scamper by Emmitt Smith. You know, you talked about the tight ends. And if Sterling Sharp is concerned about consecutive game receptions, Novacek 25 consecutive games, and he leads all tight ends in the NFC with receptions.
And one thing Novacek can also do is run block very effectively, especially on the backside of a play where we saw that last play. Emmitt Smith, the run was going weak, but the backside blocking was so good that Emmitt Smith is able to get about 2 or 3 steps into his run, and in the corner of his eye, he sees that opening backside, and he takes it.
Well, that's the end of the first quarter, and Green Bay again scoreless in the first quarter.
Tomorrow, Great Britain's fiery and controversial Duchess of York.
An exclusive interview with Fergie on CBS This Morning.
It's breakfast for your head.
Putting it together.
If you needed to put together a lot of information into a finished document of the highest copy quality, copy on both sides, reduce, enlarge, insert tabs, add covers, and make 12 perfectly bound booklets all in about 10 minutes, then there's only one copier that can do the job, the Xerox 5090, the way to put it together. Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
Looks like we lost them. Good thing we tanked up on Conoco Super Unleaded. Outsmarted them again. Yeah. You don't suppose they've been using Conoco Super Unleaded too?
Clean running Conoco Super Unleaded helps keep your engine free from harmful deposits. It also does it for the other guys. Conoco, hottest brand going.
CBS sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Xerox, the document company. Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for 1 low price. And by Miller Lite, it's it. And that's that.
Nice shot of the skyline, downtown Milwaukee. Realize the tallest building in downtown Milwaukee, I'm told, is 42 stories.
But you can see Waukegan from there.
Not quite the 110 or so of the Empire State Building, but nonetheless tall. 2nd and 2. for the Cowboys. Ball at the 36. And Daryl Johnston bullying his way ahead.
The Dallas Cowboys right now are finding out why the Green Bay defense is only giving up 2.5 yards per rush on an average. They're trying to test the inside of this Packer defense. That's not the place to do it. Brian Noble's inside there. Esara Tuaolo is in there. Holland's in there. You got to get outside on this defense. Stretch him a little bit laterally before you try to get up inside.
Reports to an eligible position.
And Johnston only a yard gained on the play. Will bring up a 3rd and 1. Alan Beingrad, the eligible receiver here. Novacek in motion. On the ground again as Smith tries to go up top. Did he have enough?
Well, when you're 5'9", 207 pounds, I don't know if jumping's one of your prime attributes. And he didn't get very high up. He got one of those 3 or 4 book of matches type leaps up there and didn't quite get high enough out of the line, I think.
Was not a slam dunker in basketball. And Smith is going to be shy of the first down marker by about a half a yard maybe. So we'll call it 4th and 1.
And Jimmy Johnson's going to go for it here.
Cowboys are 2 of 4.
A lot of faith in your defense when you go for it on your opponent's 35-yard line.
Smith. I don't know.
He didn't get it.
And the Green Bay defense holds.
Right in here is where the Dallas Cowboys are going to test the Green Bay Packers. Watch the penetration that happens right in here by the Green Bay line. They are underneath the Dallas Cowboy linemen. The linemen cannot get drive. And then it's Murphy, Pop, Bennett. They stuff Emmitt Smith.
This is a commercial for this clever little portable CD player from Magnavox, the inventors of CD technology. I'm sorry, actually, this is a commercial for the ingenious Magnavox 13-inch TV with a built-in VCR. I'm sorry, this is really a commercial for this brilliant 52-inch TV with 100-watt Dolby surround sound. I'm sorry, wrong again. This is supposed to be a commercial for this Magnavox 386 notebook computer. Hang on, we haven't finished. Oh, I'm sorry.
The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
For centuries, mankind has looked to the heavens for the extraordinary. Starting November 1st, it can again, in the friendly skies. Introducing Connoisseur Class, only on United. A truly elevated form of international business class. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
I want performance. I want handling. So I probably want a European sedan.
Seville by Cadillac and the new dynamics in performance technology. Where an electronically controlled V8 powertrain makes acceleration smooth and invigorating. And where a speed-sensitive suspension automatically retunes itself as you drive. The 1992 Cadillac Seville is here. And there's never been a car like it. This game summary is sponsored by Bud Light.
No score here in the second quarter. No score, that is. If you take a look at the passing yards of Dallas and Green Bay, Majowski, of course, you know, is inactive today. Smith only 7 rushes for 14 yards. Dallas 8 for 15. Why is Green Bay so effective in the middle?
They've got Tuaolo in the middle now. That's a big addition. Plus, it's attitude. Just like their offense can't run because it doesn't have the attitude, their defense doesn't like to have rushing yards against it.
And Workman on the counter. Actually, a loss on the play. A loss of about 5 yards. Well, Randy, I guess we ought to give the rookie Tuaolo an awful lot of credit because he's really helped to shore up that middle.
Well, what he's done, they've had in the past, they've had Bob Nelson in there, who was a real good two-gap kind of a guy that just sort of stuffed things. But the addition of Tuaolo, not only with the strength that he has, but he has the lateral quickness to get in there and really disrupt plays.
Packers with the 2nd and 15. Kiel with time. Throws it complete to Workman. But Workman has no place to go. Good tackling, good read by the Cowboys. Among others, Ken Norton on the tackle along with James Washington.
Let's take another look at it right here. Look at the line. They're not selling this as the run as hard as they should, and they get stuffed. They should be lower. The pads of the Packers are well underneath the Dallas Cowboy offensive lineman pads.
3rd and 14. Sharp and Wilson to the near side. Kemp to the far side. 4 wide receivers for the Packers. Kiel decides to run it. He's going to be short about 6 yards. The necessary yardage for the first down. He picked up 8 on the play. So McJulian will come on to punt for the Packers. And Shepard back to receive for the Cowboys.
Last week, Blair Kiel was the leading rusher for the Green Bay Packers. Not a good sign when you're talking about trying to run the ball when your quarterback has to scramble to make yards on the ground.
Matter of fact, he had the longest run last week. And McJulian somehow concentrated through the pressure. Fair catch at the 19 by Shepard. So the Cowboys will come out and give it a shot at their own 19.
The difference between a suspension that enhances performance at high speeds and one that can isolate poor road conditions at low speeds is a fine line. Now Cadillac combines both into one with speed-sensitive suspension. It adjusts automatically for highway, for city streets, or for spirited performance roads. Speed-sensitive suspension. Another way substance is taking shape, Cadillac style.
When her car needed a new battery, you got the heavy-duty model. When the tires started to wear, you spent a little more for the good ones. And even though the brakes could have made it a while longer, you said replace them. And now that fall's here, you're using Prestone antifreeze. Its patented formula exceeds every performance standard set for the antifreeze industry for corrosion and freeze-up protection. Prestone, we make it better than we have to, for some very good reasons.
Down on the corner, there's a place I know. We're friends together and the beers are cold. The music's hard and the times are good. Nothing beats the fun in my neighborhood. Yeah, nothing beats all this, but wiser. Nothing beats the good. And you find us here with the king of beers. Nothing beats the buzz.
Tell me, O wisest Swami, what is the answer?
The Eagles have a tough defense, but unbelievably, the Saints are undefeated. I wish I had a television.
And look at here, running on empty, very apropos. Thompson led the first 2 weeks for the Packers. He's on IR. Since then, it's been 2 quarterbacks and Alan Rice, a backup fullback. And Rice, with 89 yards, came into this game as the leading running back, leading rusher for the Green Bay Packers.
And guess who it is today? Keith Woodside, 2 rushes for only 10 yards. 1st and 10. Cowboys at their own 20. Smith. Nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide.
Dallas right now.
A loss of 2 on the play, Randy. I'm sorry.
Sorry, James. Dallas would seem to be a little bit frustrated at this time right now. They're not being able to run the ball effectively, and for their passing game, they haven't shown the patience that it requires to go against a Hank Bulla defense. You don't go downtown against Hank Bulla in this defense. You got to be content to go 10, 15 yards and get your yardage that way.
2nd and 12. Complete to Johnston, and Johnston up near the first down marker, looks to have enough for the first down, and he does. Johnny Holland pushing him out of bounds.
That's the very kind of thing they're going to have to do. They're going to have to go to their fullback and halfback out of the backfield. They're going to have to go to their tight end and their receivers coming underneath. because Hank Bullock's got this kind of 3-deep zone working right now, where Mark Murphy is basically a fourth linebacker, and he's up there in position to support every single time. They're going to have to go away from the run for a while and make this defense loosen up by throwing against it.
And Troy Aikman has no problems in spreading the ball around.
No, not at all. He will get this ball to every receiver possible.
From the 30, 1st and 10. Smith. And Smith ahead for about 4 yards will bring up a 2nd and 6. Packers actually lead this series 10-5. One of only 6 clubs in NFL history with a winning record against the Cowboys. Last time Dallas played here back in 1980. And as far as playing here in Milwaukee, teams have split 4 games played here. Dallas winning the last 2, 1978 and 1980. Second and 6. Aikman dumps it over the middle to Johnston for yet another 1st down and across midfield. So Darryl Johnston, who came into the game with 9 catches, looking good today, 17 yards, as he gets up a little slow, limping on that left ankle.
That was a head-on hit right here on Johnston. Keep an eye on him. He's the up back there in the offensive formation as he curls around and through the defense. Watch him come around. Norv Turner and this offense have decided, if you want to take our tight end and our receiver away, we'll go to our fullback. But watch the hit right there as he goes down with that ankle tackle. It would appear he might have twisted that ankle a little bit.
Aikman has gone to Johnston today 3 times for 46 yards.
And backing up Johnston today is Ricky Blake, former World Leaguer. Man's had a lot of action. He had a full season in a training camp in the World League, and then just for good measure, went to Canada for a couple weeks of double days before he headed down to Austin to training camp with the Cowboys.
Right now, Emmitt Smith, the lone back. 8:42 left in the 1st half. No score. In the direction of Michael Irvin, incomplete. No flags on the play.
And that was a good example there of when a zone is not stretched, where the relationship should be between the defensive backs and the linebackers in front of them. There's about a 3 to 5 yard cushion between them. Irvin was trying to get in there, but you've got to be a magician to be able to drop a ball over that linebacker coverage and in front of those defensive backs into a wide receiver.
Magician.
Or a bombardier.
Troy Aikman, 8 of 12 for 99 yards. 2nd and 10. Smith. And Smith slithering and sliding his way ahead. Inside the 45. Call it a 6-yard pickup.
Emmitt Smith has great vision. He can see the entire field. He sees the blocking. Watch him right here. The ball will be flipped to him. He could go here, he could go here, or he could go here, or he could cut back. Look at his options, and you be the running back and almost read this. Where's the hole? See that open up real late there? That's what Emmitt Smith saw.
Cowboys have a 3rd and 4. Ball at the 44. 6 DBs in for the Packers. Aikman, flag on a play. Ball is batted down, but there is a flag on the near sideline.
That went down fast enough. Has to be encroachment. Yep. It's usually a linebacker or a defensive end, and their enthusiasm to line up as close to the ball as possible. They line up in that neutral zone of the football.
"13 years in the league for Randy Cross and trench warfare, and you certainly know when those flags are down and what they mean.
Offsides on the defense. Number 95 lined up in the neutral zone. The penalty may result in a 1st down.
You know, the neutral zone to some people is such an ambiguous term. It's like, is that like a DMZ? Is that, I mean, what exactly is a neutral zone? The neutral zone is the space the ball takes up. Nobody should be in that space of the ball. The center should have his hand there. That area right there should be the neutral zone. Nobody's over the football except for the center. And he deserves to be over the football and get a little edge because it's such a tough position to play.
And that was called on Bryce Pop. As you take a look at Bryce Pop.
One more time. It will be third down for the Dallas Cowboys, third and extremely short, and they called it on Bryce Pop, who's lined up right down at the bottom of the screen. Had that hand just offside and into that neutral zone.
And 79, eligible receiver Eric Williams, a rookie out of Central State in Ohio.
That's all kinds of tight end.
Third and inches to Novacek, and he has plenty to spare with the first down. So Novacek taking it inside the 30 to about the 29 of Green Bay. 7:42 remaining in the first half.
And that was a kind of play. Watch all the action go away. The defense bites quickly on this handoff. The play action fake to Emmitt Smith. And the tight end does a quick drag from his original position. Novacek coming in motion. That was an easy one. You see the 49ers use that play a lot with Jerry Rice down in the goal line situation where they'll bring him in motion and drag him right in front of the defensive backs. The defensive backs have to make a decision. Do I want to come up and risk making a tackle and missing it? Or do I keep the ball in front of me and give up the first down?
First and 10 from the 29 of Green Bay. Aikman pumps. Quick out to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt loses his footing. A loss of 3 on the play, and Brian Noble on the stop. We're live at Milwaukee County Stadium, southeastern part of the state. James Brown along with Randy Cross. A scoreless ball game with 7:02 remaining in the first half.
And what we've seen so far, James, has been an inspired Packer defense really coming here today to play some football against a Dallas Cowboy team that seems a little bit ineffective, not quite firing. Maybe some of the worries of Jimmy Johnson and Norv Turner and the rest of the coaching staff for the Dallas Cowboys was well-founded because this team just looks a little bit flat so far today.
Second and 13, ball at the 32. Aikman looking for Irvin, has him for the first down. Did he hold it long enough? And it looks as if he did. Jerry Holmes providing the coverage.
This guy is something. Michael Irvin has got a personality, and he's got enough personality for this entire offense. Look at him working against Holmes. He knows I've got to get exactly to a spot in this defense, and Troy will get me the ball. You saw Novacek in the original play. He's jumping up trying to grab it. The defensive back's trying to bat it. But Michael Irvin told us yesterday, I run to spots in this offense. Norv Turner's offense is perfectly suited for our talent.
First and 10 from the 17. Dallas threatening in the red zone. Out to Smith. And Smith, little juke move. A couple of yards picked up, stopped by Johnny Holland. And what has Dallas done inside the red zone this year?
It hasn't been their strength. You wouldn't say they're a team that has dominated inside the 20 so far. They have turned the ball over a couple times. But the one part of the stat to look at is they've gotten in there 12 times. 7 times they've come away with 6 points. That is significant. We get a chance later on, if the Green Bay Packer offense gets in there, we'll see something completely different right here. Look at this. Field goals. 8 field goals inside the 20. That is pathetic.
Smith getting down near the 12, a 4-yard pickup by Emmitt Smith. John Madden mentioned on the NFL Today show about teams getting more conservative inside the red zone. You buy that as well?
I don't really. You know, there's still the Mike Holmgrens, and there's still the Norv Turners, and there's still the guys that want to do it. You know, John's seen the Giants, and John's seen the Redskins, and John's seen the Bears and whatnot. And those are teams that just by their basic nature and makeup of their coaching staffs are not risk takers. I don't think it's something that is widespread around the league. If anything, I think the more interesting and exciting teams are willing to take chances down here.
Third and Agee in motion. Flag on the play. Complete across the middle to Alfredo Roberts. But there is a flag on the play.
That'll be fourth down. I tell you, with those 3 tight ends, Novacek and Awald and Roberts, the Cowboys might have the best trio in the NFL.
against the Cowboys.
Well, I think right here you got to decline this penalty and make Dallas kick a field goal.
4:23 remaining. Dallas trying to get on the scoreboard first. Both teams with their full complement of timeouts, three apiece.
Troy Aikman and company is just a little bit too dangerous to give them another third down shot. He's got the Irvin, he's got the right, he's got the Smith. Too many tools. You decline this penalty and you make it fourth down.
Two-man on the offense. Repeat third down.
Ooh. I completely disagree with that. I think this is a mistake by the Green Bay Packers. You have got to get inside and to take that thing, decline the penalty, and make them kick a field goal. This is hardly outside of Willis' range. Even if they kick this thing at 34 yards. Green Bay.
From the 17 for the Cowboys. Bacon looking right.
Throws it incomplete. Off the hand of Michael Irvin. It looked like his principal receiver was Jay Novacek, and again, that slippery footing. Novacek went down.
Irvin came into the picture and tried to get it.
Well, we talked about it being an offensive based on positioning and based on receivers getting to a spot. I agree with you. I think Irvin was not the main receiver on that play. He was trying to get the ball to Novacek, and Irvin batted it down. That's why you saw the reaction of Irvin jumping up and down. He knew he wasn't supposed to touch that ball.
Dan Willis coming on to attempt a 35-yard field goal. The birthday boy celebrating his 25th birthday. Just a puppy, huh, Randy?
A mere sapling.
I think every official out there let the flag go that time.
Start. Number 75, offense, prior to the snap, but still fourth down.
Well, this part of the second quarter is turning into a Kleenex convention right now with the officials throwing their flags. And Dallas is trying to do their best imitation of the Green Bay Packers, just trying to see how many mistakes they can make to try to get themselves completely out of field goal position.
Tony Casillas, the culprit that time, so this makes it a 40-yard field goal attempt.
Still should be an easy stroke for Willis.
And it's no good. So the easy stroke proved to be a little more difficult. And Dallas comes away with no points.
American luxury sedans don't seem to have the sophistication I'm looking for.
The Seville STS by Cadillac, where openness and order, form and function create new levels of sophistication and control. The 1992 Cadillac Seville STS is here, and one spirited drive will convince you there's never been a car like it.
58% of business travelers change their plans at least once. No problem. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY. Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
The Allstate agent who helps insure your home can give you a hand with a plan for life insurance. Life insurance. Your Allstate agent wants to be your agent for life. You're in good hands with Allstate.
How do you get comfortable?
Who, me? I wear Comfort-Tex shoes by Flourishine. Let me show you why. You see, they got this special cushion insert and sole with a bunch of tiny air bubbles. Now watch how they absorb the impact of every step you take. And there are Comfort-Tex from dress to casual. I'll tell you, they're the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn. Try a pair for 30 days. If you don't agree, you'll get your money back. Get Comfort-Tex by Flourishine and get comfortable.
Not again.
Please, God. Please.
You want me to come back later?
Would I think I'm pregnant?
Yeah, I'll come back later.
Evening Shave, Monday.
A 13-play Dallas drive, 58 yards, and the Cowboys come away empty-handed, and we still have no score here in the first half. 3:50 left in the first half of play.
The Green Bay Packers got lucky there. They dodged a major bullet, maybe even a howitzer on that one. to decline that penalty, give Troy Aikman and that offense another chance. The Dallas Cowboys cooperated and pushed themselves out of a scoring opportunity right there.
So the Pack takes over at its own 22. Kiel to Sharp for the first down. So the first good pass thrown to Sterling Sharp today. Postseason play begins Tuesday night right here on CBS with the ALCS between the Blue Jays and the Twins starting at 8:30 Eastern. On Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, it's Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. And at 8:30, it's Game 1 of the National League Championship Series between the Pirates and the Braves. Remember, the entire baseball postseason is right here on CBS. 1st and 10. Ball at the 33. 3 wideouts in for the Packers. And Kiel, grabbed momentarily, still gets rid of it. And Casillas was back there inside of Kiel's skull.
Well, he was at least inside of his shirt. They had a blitz coming in from the inside, appeared to be one of the safeties coming in the middle. And they just get all over Blair Kiel. And it was a good example right here of the new rule about the quarterbacks. Can you get the quarterback? Can you grab him? And then is it all right? Watch this. It used to be in the grasp. He's in the grasp right here. He's got him by the leg. Vincent Smith does, 57. Last year, that had been a sack. This year, he does not have control and is not threatened by another player.
So Casillas is still thanking me for that little bit of a boost there. Give it to Smith. Play action. Kiel goes back to Jackie Harris, and Harris hit nicely by Isaac Holt. A gain of 4 on the play. Could have been more, but for the hit applied by Isaac Holt. You know, Holt is playing more aggressively, and when we talked also with him about some of the remedies he's trying to put in place, and he talked about a trip up to Dallas that he received this week.
Oh, he was happy. He says, my mom came in. And my mom, as soon as she got there, about 9:30 at night, just said, honey, are you hungry? Should I go to? And he says, I did some serious shopping the day before. I was ready for her to come into town. He says, I had pork chops, greens, and all kinds of good stuff.
And he's playing pretty decently right now. 3rd and 6. 4 wideouts in for the Pack. Kiel going to Weathers, complete for the first down. Weathers turned Robert Williams around. Ball at the 42 of Dallas.
Good job by Blair Kiel, because Ray Horton, number 20, on the right side of the screen, is up showing blitz. The Dallas Cowboys come back into a 3-deep zone, and they just gets Clarence Weathers, get a little slip out there on the corner by Isaac Holt, and that's what opened up Clarence Weathers, who got 2 feet down for the catch.
Nice drag by the shoes. 1st and 10. Ball at the 42. 2:15 remaining in the first half. No score. Kiel intended for Sterling Sharp. Sharp went to the sideline. Kiel threw to the inside. Isaac Holt on the coverage.
We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys offense being one where they throw to a spot and the receiver should be there. Well, Blair Kiel got a blitz from Kenny Norton and Vincent Smith, and the tackles on the inside got free on him there. He saw nothing but white jerseys, and he threw that ball to a spot where he just hoped there was somebody in a green shirt.
He said, I guess you could say he admires Troy Aikman, but not that much, how to take the hits.
No. Blair at 6 foot and about 200 pounds is not the guy you want to get pounded on too often.
And he wants you to get that half inch in there, 6 feet, a half inch.
I'd have to see it to believe it.
2nd and 10. Rice, the lone back. Picked off by Horton. Touchdown, Dallas. 2nd touchdown in 2 weeks. Horton, a 65-yard interception return for the first score of the game. And boy, did you see him grab Larry Brown and say, let me use you as a boost to get ahead?
That in bike racing, that's called drafting, isn't it, James? You did the Tour de Pont. You draft that guy in front of you, you grab him, and you pull by with that draft. That's what he did. It's a nice job by Horton reading that quarterback's eyes the entire way. Blair Kiel was looking over it this way the entire time, and as soon as that ball was in the air, Horton was breaking on the ball.
His touchdown. The play is under review.
I would think what they're going to look at is right over here at about the 35-yard line, whether or not Horton stepped out of bounds after he catches the ball. And they've decided the play stands. It is a touchdown. What they were looking at, watch, right in here. Horton catches it. Can he stop his momentum? Oh, easily. Right there. He may have missed it by about 6 inches. Watch right here. Watch him draft on Brown. Well, before we watch the draft, we'll watch Willis try to kick this extra point.
And he does. A 65-yard interception return for a score. Dallas on the board.
Choose sides and get ready for the battles of October.
Sports and Science Converge, brought to you by AT&T, sponsor the '92 U.S. Olympic team. 1990 U.S. Open champion Hale Irwin has continued to win in 1991. A series of fitness tests has helped him evaluate his ability. We'll see how in a moment.
Dean and DeLuca, are you waiting longer for overseas calls to connect? Latino Chicago Theater Company, are you saving less than you'd hoped on international calls since you left AT&T? We want you back. AT&T Pro Watts. Competitive prices on international calls, plus our new Favorite Nation 10% discount. Switch now and get 1 month of long distance free. We want you back. Call 1-800-222-0900.
At the Centinela Hospital Fitness Center, Irwin's golf swing was analyzed, and his flexibility, strength, and general fitness were tested. Therapists offered suggestions to improve his golf game and overall lifestyle.
Imagine a rent-a-car company that offers special delivery right to your door. That's Enterprise.
Here, let me help you.
Enterprise, a special rent-a-car company that gives you special delivery.
Oil, the lifeblood of your engine. So the most vital organ is your oil filter. That's why Fram introduces ExtraGuard. New glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter. New Fram ExtraGuard, the best protection ever.
Right here, let's take a look at Horton. Now also, watch Kiel. He'll drop back, but look at his eyes. He'll look out here the entire time, and watch Horton's break on the ball. The ball isn't thrown. Look at him breaking. He's breaking now before the ball is ever in the air. He knows exactly where that ball's going. Now, if you want to have a little fun here, Brown 24 will take some grief about not being able to outrun a safety when he's a cornerback. Little drafting, grabs him by, pulls him through, makes a block, but he almost got run over by a guy trying to run for a touchdown.
Brown not quite big enough, I guess Horton thought, at only 184 pounds. So Willis will kick off for the Cowboys. Something he's been doing very well this year. And Sikahema, touchback, brings it out to the 20. Coming up on the NFL Today Dockers halftime report, Greg and Terry will have all the scores, highlights, and latest information from around the league. And Andrea Joyce will check in with the newly crowned National League West Division champion, Atlanta Braves, as they get set for the National League Championship Series. Coming up, it's all right here on CBS. Both teams with their full complement of timeouts. You know, Ray Horton, 9th-year player out of Washington, is in the final year of his contract. And with that fumble recovery for a touchdown last week, interception return for a touchdown this week, not a bad way to go into contract negotiations.
Well, we talked about Isaac Holt and life being timing, and by the same token, timing is very, very good so far for Horton. But it's early. It's kind of like getting your birdie on the 4th hole of 18. It's early.
Kiel, incomplete attempted pass to Perry Kemp. 1:49 left in the first half of play.
And so far, they've tried to test Isaac Holt, and so far, he's passed with flying colors on this test. He really has played very effectively in this first half.
In your estimation, what's Holt doing better today than he has the first 4
Welcome back to our New York studio, everyone. The Atlanta Braves wrapped up the National League West title yesterday, becoming the second team after the Twins to go from worst to first in a single season.
The city of Atlanta woke up this morning clearly enjoying the Braves' newfound worst to first
Intercepted. Ah, they say not quite. Holt, boy, would that have been a nice eagle boost. Now, wait a minute. One official signaled no, and they're having a conference about it.
And that guy right there, number 10, they just made a Blair Kiel sandwich at about the 10-yard line there for the Green Bay Packers.
Daniel Stubbs, your old guy, applying the heat on Kiel.
His reception, the catch is good.
Now that's, you talk about a break going Holt's way.
That's great. You know, Isaac Holt made a comment. He says, you know, my grandfather told me something a long time ago. Even a blind mule finds an ear of corn sometimes. And here is Isaac Holt's ear of corn. He held it. He had it. The ball bounced up a little bit there, but he had that the whole way.
All 3 ears of corn this year. Interceptions the Dallas defense have. That man right there, Isaac Holt.
You know, and that's the main reason you've got a guy like Holt in the game. He's the guy that's going to make the big plays for you. You got to hang with him. He will be a good player for the rest of this year.
What do you want from us?
I want to drink your blood.
Oh, okay.
This Fright Night, replenish your Bud supply with plenty of Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry. And look for your Fright Night bottle wrap wherever your favorite Bud is served.
So you really think I'm your type?
Oh, positive.
It was a good day for ideas. Plans for a sidewalk cafe were finalized. A river walk was proposed. And someone had the vision to bring luxury and romance back to train travel. Keep those ideas coming, and we'll keep making them look their best. LaserJet printers from Hewlett-Packard.
A true driver's car in a luxury coupe? Sounds to me like you're talking import.
The Eldorado Touring Coupe by Cadillac. In the fraction of a second it takes to depress the accelerator, you'll acquaint yourself with the surge of its V8, the adaptability of its speed-sensitive suspension, and reacquaint yourself with the pleasures of driving. The 1992 Cadillac Eldorado Touring Coupe is here, and there's never been a car like it.
Isaac Holt coming on strong. Talk about a nice coming out party. Dallas leading 7-zip. Both teams, 3 timeouts remaining, 1:44 remaining. And as well as Isaac Holt is playing defensively, you talk about defense. Green Bay's defense has been doing a job against the Dallas rush.
And it's funny that you talk about the Green Bay defense being a great rushing defense. The last couple of years, it's been Tim Harris in the pass rush. And they are the number 2 pass rushing defense with Bryce Pop. But as of right now, they need to get heat on the quarterback. Maybe they need a Tim Harris. Maybe they shouldn't have got rid of a Tim Harris.
1st and 10. This is Emmitt Smith. Smith trying to find a hole and around the end and nowhere. Nice stretch out. Mark Murphy running him out of bounds. Now you're saying maybe Green Bay should have kept Tim Harris?
Well, Pop got off to a good start. The defense got off to a good start. The last couple of weeks, though, we did the game last week with the LA Rams. So far today against Troy Aikman, the only way they've gotten heat on Troy Aikman and a hit on Troy Aikman has been with a safety or a linebacker blitzing. It has not been with a defensive lineman or a guy that lines up as an end in the defense. I think they missed that pure pass rush ability of a Tim Harris here in Green Bay.
2nd and 10 for the Cowboys. Aikman complete to Novacek, and Novacek for the 1st down. Dragged down from behind by Roland Mitchell. Now, I don't think anybody would certainly compare Bryce Pop athletically to Tim Harris. So do you think it's the system that's benefiting Bryce Pop?
The system's worked quite a bit. I mean, he's also a hard worker. He's got a good low move and a lot of good things. But this is a situation in a ball game, you need a big gun. You need a stud pass rusher to make the offense worry about it.
Off the fingertips of Michael Irvin, who will be 2nd and 10. Ball at the 28 of Green Bay.
About another 5 yards, I would think, and they were in Ken Willis's field goal territory. We know already today he's missed a 40-yarder, so that would mean we have to get Willis down here around the 20-yard line to get into his comfort zone.
On the season, the birthday boy does have a 54-yarder, that coming in the 1st game of the year against Cleveland. And, of course, that 54-yarder tied a Dallas club record. 2nd and 10 from the 28. Complete to Irvin. Irvin with the first down. Down to about the 14. A 15-yard pass play. Chuck Cecil on the tackle.
And the Packers are lucky Chuck Cecil did get his arms around or just get a shoulder on Irvin on that play, because he definitely would have scored if Cecil would not have brought him down.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol, the only leading motor oil that provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. Why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Now get a free officially licensed NFL team hat when you buy a case of Castrol GTX.
Now watch Michael Irvin come in right here. We saw him push off earlier, but watch him working on Leroy Butler right here and push off the right shoulder of Butler. Right there. Good push-off move by Irvin. He gets through. Now watch Cecil come blurring in here. That was a saving tackle because Michael Irvin had a clear path to the end zone. I think he would have been able to get by Vinnie Clark and score.
So the Cowboys have the ball marked at the 13 of Green Bay with 53 seconds left in the first half. 2 timeouts remaining. This is 1st and 10. Complete, no, incomplete to Novacek, the intended receiver. Murphy on the play.
Just a hair behind him, James. He put that ball right about in the armpit, shoulder pad area of Novacek. If he'd have let him out around the numbers a little bit more, Novacek would have been able to catch that ball and turn more upfield. Watch the very end of this right here, and you'll see the ball come in. Aikman zips this thing over. Watch where it hits Novacek. He's got to make that twisting, turning move right there, and it catches him right there on the shoulder pad near the left armpit.
And Novacek, 6'4", 230, 7th year out of Wyoming. Agile type.
Norv Turner compares him to Pete Holohan he had with the LA Rams. He says he's Holohan with speed.
On 2nd and 10. And Aikman gets rid of it. Ryan Noble on top of him. Threw it in the direction of Michael Irvin.
I tell you, James, the only guy with a chance to catch that one, he was throwing that thing away. We got our cameraman on the cart right down there in the end zone. He was the closest receiver to that football.
Maybe an ex-Milwaukee Bucks player by the name of Paul McKeskey at 7'1" might have had a shot at it.
Hey, don't talk bad about McKeskey. He's from my old high school.
I knew that. Dallas with a 3rd down, coming up 1 of 5 in 3rd down conversions.
That signal coming in from the sidelines got to be a good 60 yards away. I think here you go to Irvin or Novacek and you go into the end zone.
Novacek, and that's exactly what they do. Touchdown, Dallas. Aikman to Novacek.
I wouldn't call that an incredibly conservative call in the red zone. There's an opportunity to go for a 1st down or to go for 6. And Jimmy Johnson, Norv Turner, and Troy Aikman, they decided the heck with a 1st down. Let's take what they're giving us. What they're giving us is a chance for a touchdown. And Novacek takes advantage of it with a nice catch.
And Jerry Holmes at only 178, too light to do the job there. Willis comes on for the point after. And the Cowboys move out in front with 41 seconds remaining in the first half by 2 touchdowns over the Packers.
I've made up my mind. I'm going to do it. Why shouldn't I? I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror every morning. So before I lose another hair, I'm going to the doctor. I know doctors have treatment programs that are proven to work. More guys are trying them every day. I'm not bad now, but I wouldn't mind looking better.
Your doctor can really do something about hair loss. So see your doctor or call this toll-free number.
Jay Novacek, leading receiver among tight ends in the NFC, led the NFL last year with 59 receptions on the scoring end of that pass from Troy Aikman.
And Novacek is a very sure-handed receiver. How sure-handed is this guy? How many tight ends do you see holding for extra points and field goals? He is the holder for the Dallas Cowboys. They have so much confidence in his hands and in his ball control and his poise, they use him as their holder.
Well, who is it with Minnesota that was nicknamed Palmolive? Hassan Jones?
Hassan Jones.
Well, they definitely ought to give Novacek a nice name like that. Willis. Sikahema from his own 7. And a leaping attempted tackle that Sikahema breaks and still on his feet. An excellent return by Vi Sikahema across the 41. Finally tackled by Derek Brownlow. A 34-yard return by Vi Sikahema.
We talked about this being a bit of a redemption period after last week for Vi Sikahema. From here on, it's all him. Look at that. They're diving at him. They're grabbing him. They're trying for his legs. They're trying for his jersey. He will not be tackled. And luckily for Dallas, Brownlow just gets in there and gets him from behind, where Sikahema couldn't do anything about it and couldn't see him.
32 seconds left in the first half of play. Green Bay trailing by 2 touchdowns. To Workman. And Workman run out of bounds about 4 yards shy of the first down marker. 24 seconds remaining.
And they're right about the 50-yard line, James, and to get right around Chris Jackie field goal range, I think conservatively, you've got to talk about them getting to the 30-yard line, which means they need about another 23 yards to get in field position. Jackie could kick one around 50, 52, but as they say, that is pushing the envelope, and the wind really won't be a factor here in this stadium, because in this bowl right now, it is not blowing much at all.
Packers with 3 timeouts remaining. 2nd and 5. High snap. Kiel decides to keep it. Has the first down. And timeout called by Green Bay with 17 seconds remaining.
Blair Kiel for the first down.
Chilly conditions here at Milwaukee County Stadium. And the Packers still with the goose egg on the scoreboard, trailing the Dallas Cowboys 14-zip. Along with Randy Cross, I'm James Brown. And coming up on NFL Today halftime report, Greg and Terry will bring all the scores, highlights, and of course, the latest information from around the league. And Andrea Joyce will check in. She'll have a report on the Atlanta Braves, team that just took the National League West crown.
And that I don't want to talk about. My team let me down.
I know it.
They completely laid an egg, and I know they're happy in my home city of San Francisco, because nothing pleases them more than to ruin the Dodgers' year.
You and a number of other people were hoping that Strawberry and Eddie Murray and company will be there, but the Braves, boy, what a story there from last to first.
We're still 14 yards away from our target area, James. The ball's on the 44. They need to get to the 30 to be an effective field goal range.
3 down linemen for the Cowboys on 1st and 10 for the Pack. And Workman about a yard and a half shy of the first down marker. And Green Bay burns off another timeout, leaving 1 with 10 seconds remaining. Now, Chris Jackie's longest career-wise, a 53-yarder. That came against the Rams last year. His longest attempted field goal this year, which was no good, was a 48-yarder.
53 is about what he'd be attempting right here. And what they'll have to settle for, unless they can get a quick pass. 10 seconds is not enough time to run an effective running play and then get the referee's attention. You're really pushing it. You're taking a big chance to give run a run and then try to get a timeout from the ref. What they need to do, I think, is run a sideline type pattern or a quick pass, and Blair Kiel has got to get right in the referee's face and get a timeout right now.
So how many defensive backs do you think we'll see positioned near the sideline? Or both?
I think yes is the answer to that question, James. There will be plenty of them. Now, there's not a happy camper right there. I think what you're seeing Jimmy a little displeased by the performance of his defense here late. They've not put very much pressure on Blair Kiel, and as far as their zone coverages underneath, they look very loose and very sloppy right now.
Kiel inside handoff, and Workman trying to get out of bounds, and does with 4 seconds remaining. So Workman takes it to about the 24-yard line. Boy, what a play call. My goodness.
Nobody can say Lindy Infante is not coming into this game conservative and is not taking some chances. Gutsy call. It worked out. It worked fine. Just like declining that penalty on the other side and making Dallas go for it on 3rd down again and giving Aikman another shot. Chris Jackie is now around 42 yards out, and that is easily within his range. Slight right to left wind blowing, but it really should not be a factor.
And as Randy Cross stated, Chris Jackie attempting a 42-yard field goal. It's up. And it's good. A good play call by Lindy Infante, and that's the end of the first half with the score. Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys on top of the Packers, 14-3. Greg and Terry will be along after this.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Discover how substance is taking shape, Cadillac style. Hewlett-Packard LaserJet printers, they'll get you noticed. And by Bud Light, everything else is just a light.
I'm Lindy Infante, head coach of the Green Bay Packers. And America is the greatest nation on earth because of its volunteerism. That's right, volunteering. It's all the things we do to help each other, our neighbors, and our community. Here in Green Bay, United Way volunteers contribute over 500,000 hours of service teaching young people like these with me today to stay in school and not let drugs or alcohol destroy their lives. United Way isn't just another agency or program. It's a playbook for all our volunteer efforts, ensuring effective and efficient service so we can reach all people who need our help. This is one United Way volunteer who is very special to me. She's my wife, Stephanie. She works with United Way's Volunteer Center and their program Dial-A-Hug that links senior volunteers with latchkey kids. Volunteers like her, it's what makes America truly beautiful. Get the spirit. Discover volunteering.
Join us as United Way volunteers.
When we work together, the sky's the limit because the United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
This message from Pennzoil, at home in America, Charlotte, North Carolina, NASCAR USA. This is where they build race cars and the engines that power them. And those engines, they don't come cheap. So what motor oil goes in this race car? The same straight-off-the-shelf Pennzoil quality that goes in your car. You know the one. Pennzoil. Ever since America learned to drive.
My customers keep telling me, Tony, you gotta try Hardee's new subs. They're even better than yours. We'll see. Give me your best sub.
Okay, start with a nice sub roll. Add Swiss, roast beef, turkey, and ham, fresh tomatoes, onions, and lettuce.
Right now, try one of Hardee's new subs and a Coke and get free fries. Get that at a sub shop.
Hey, Tony, great sub, huh? Oh, sorry, Tony.
Deli subs, now at Hardee's.
Do you know what the single most expensive part of most suits is? The label, exclusively for store X by designer Y of manufacturer Z. For the privilege of reading their names, X, Y, and Z each charge you a tidy sum. Now, on my labels, you'll find only one name, because we design, make, and sell our own suits in our own stores. Admittedly, my labels aren't very impressive, but my suits more than make up for it.
Kuppenheimer. Our values fit your values.
Welcome back to our New York studio, everyone. The Atlanta Braves wrapped up the National League West title yesterday, becoming the second team after the Twins to go from worst to first in a single season. Andrea Joyce is in Atlanta.
The city of Atlanta woke up this morning clearly enjoying the Braves' newfound worst-to-first status. After 3 consecutive last-place finishes, the Braves are the National League West champions. And believe me when I tell you that it is impossible to escape that news down here in Atlanta. Now, the Braves, of course, have been rolling through these last few weeks with incredible momentum. And earlier today, I asked Terry Pendleton how they plan to sustain it.
Well, I think what we continue to do as we've done all year long and not think about the big things at hand as you guys bring up. We just continue on to do what we should do every day, and that's go out and try and win.
How much fun is this for you now?
Oh, this is something to talk about, believe me. As you can see in my face, it's definitely a joy, and it's something that when I came over to Atlanta, I dreamed about doing in 92 and 93, but 91, I'll take it too, believe me. It's been an honor to be a part of this and to help out and to help this club turn everything around.
As if winning the division wasn't enough, Terry Pendleton also has his sights on the National League batting crown. He had the lead heading into today's game, and since the Braves are resting him after 104 straight starts, Pendleton is a virtual lock for that title. That's the story from here in Atlanta.
All right, Andrea, Game 1 of the National League Championship Series between the Braves and Pirates comes your way Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Time here on CBS. On Tuesday night, we'll have Game 1 of the American League Championship Series, the Toronto Blue Jays against the Minnesota Twins. That is also an 8:30 start. That does it for us for now. Time to send you back to the stadium in the game you're watching here on CBS.
Halftime activities will continue after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
It's time to take care of your parents.
Why can't you go to live with Uncle Robert?
What do you do?
Every single moment we have together is so very precious to me.
Academy Award winner Olympia Dukakis.
I want to go on and well, on. Then let's go.
Emmy winner Gene Stapleton and Lindsay Wagner in the world premiere movie Fire in the Dark tonight. A near-fatal collision with a log truck.
How in the world are we going to be able to get anyone out of this?
Changes a family's life forever on Rescue 911 Tuesday.
This is CBS.
Sir, this is one of the few businesses that doesn't advertise in the GTE everything pages. Why is that?
Well, this is Mom's restaurant. And this is Mom. She's a great cook. But if I advertised in the book people actually use, this place would be packed. And I don't think either one of us wants that on our conscience. Do we?
Businesses that want to be successful advertise in the GTE everything pages. Those that don't.
Your recommendation for our business insurer?
Wausau, sir.
Wausau for workers' comp.
And group health.
And pensions.
And property.
And
no one can beat their service.
Wausau it is.
For all your business insurance, it's the professionals from Wausau.
He's coming back.
Pizza?
Chili's has discovered how to make an onion blossom. Remember, we are professionals. Don't try this at home. Chili's Awesome Blossom. A huge onion battered flower-looking appetizer thing. Only at Chili's.
The Barry Alvarez Show, next Sunday morning at 11.
The NFL Today Dockers Halftime Report is sponsored by Levi's Dockers. Relax, you're among friends.
Welcome back to our studio in New York, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. Not many people getting into the end zone today.
No, and I'm glad, you know, at the top of the show, John Madden alluded to the umbrella, which is a forms of zone, various forms where you have 3 guys deep and 5 guys short. And it takes away the deep pass. I've seen 3 deep passes, and only one of them so far today has gone for a touchdown.
Yeah, one of them took place at Soldier Field in Chicago. Let's run down the scores for you. The Washington Redskins leading the Chicago Bears. They have just begun the second half there. Chip Low-Miller has a field goal and this touchdown pass from Rippon to Monk.
Yeah, Monk ran a sideline. The corner committed to the sideline. Then he ran an up route, and he was wide open, and Rippon found him.
Redskins looking to stay perfect. They go into the action today at 5-0. Meanwhile, at the Silverdome in Pontiac, the Lions and the Vikings. The Vikings lead at 14-3 at halftime. Vikings doing without Herschel Walker, who is standing by on the sideline with a bruised shoulder. Darren Nelson took it in from 11 yards out in the first quarter. Vikings' first touchdown in 30 possessions. And then Rich Gannon on the play action.
Play action's great. If the linebackers don't blitz, they don't blitz. Then Gannon gets out wide. The tight end fakes the block, pulls back out. Jordan does. He's wide open. Nice play.
Viking defense has put the clamps on Barry Sanders, who has been held to just 30 yards rushing in the first half so far. They have just begun the second half at the Silverdome. Tampa Bay and the Eagles, they are in the third quarter. This game is scoreless. Vinny Testaverde going for the Bucks and Brad Gable for the Philadelphia Eagles. There is Vinny, who was 5 of 14 for 55 yards in the first half, and he lost the ball in the backfield and took the 9-yard sack and then suffered this interception.
Yeah, you know, if you're going to hold the ball a long time, the last place you want to do is throw it over the middle, because you bring everyone from your blind side into that area. That's exactly what happened. There's the interception. Fortunately for the Buccaneers, a fumble and they recover.
And Brad Gable threw 2 interceptions, was sacked twice in the first half. This is one of them. Darrell Fullington picks it off. Gable just 4 of 9 for 42 yards in the first half. It's no wonder this game is scoreless as they begin the second half of play down in Tampa. Meanwhile, Dallas and Green Bay, this is a 14-3 game at halftime. The Denver Broncos and the Houston Oilers. The Oilers are hot, coming off of the week off. 28 points, the first 28 off of Denver turnovers. They lead it now 35-0 in the at the end of the first half. Dan Marino has thrown 2 touchdown passes for the Miami Dolphins. They lead the Patriots 17-7 at halftime. They're underway in the third quarter in Cleveland. The Jets with a 1-touchdown lead over the Browns, 14-7. And in the third quarter at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, it's the Bengals 7 and the Seahawks 7. John L. Williams with a 35-yard touchdown run, and Eric Ball a 1-yard TD for the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a 7-7 tie in the third quarter, and that'll do it for us here in New York. Let's return you now to Milwaukee and James Brown and Randy Cross. Gentlemen.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. And here in Milwaukee, it's been kind of a Dallas first half indeed. Troy Aikman, a pretty impressive one indeed.
He has been impressive. He's gotten into his rhythm. The whole Dallas offense got into the rhythm late in the half and have been effective. The defense has stopped the Packers on offense, and so far in this first half, it has been all Dallas.
Well, just to embellish what Troy Aikman has done in the first half, as you take a look, Aikman 15 of 23 for 162 yards. As you take a look at the turnovers there, Green Bay 2 turnovers, and of course, Randy, that always will hurt you.
And those have been interceptions, one by Ike Holt and one by Ray Horton returned for a touchdown.
And now we take a look at the quarterback stats again, just to embellish the point you made. Troy Aikman, an impressive first half. Blair Kiel, 10 of 22, 83 yards. But, Randy, I think the note here again, as you mentioned before, Green Bay's defense has really been doing the job of stuffing the Dallas rushing attack. And Emmitt Smith came into the game averaging 103 yards a game.
Well, what they've done is they've taken Emmitt Smith out of the game from a running standpoint. What Troy Aikman and Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, have done, they've put Jay Novacek and Daryl Johnston into the game as receivers, and it's been very effective right now for the Dallas Cowboys, coming underneath in the zones.
You mentioned that Jimmy Johnson may have had an inspiring halftime.
Oh, I tell you, with that field goal at the end of the first half gave him just the thing he needs to go in there and just start ripping some rear ends and get this Dallas Cowboy team ready to play in the second half.
All right, and we'll be back with the second half of play where the Cowboys lead it 14-3.
This is perfect. It all makes sense. I buy toys for my son. I give them to my son. He breaks them. That's his role. Everybody needs a role. That's his role. It's all part of the natural order of things. Now, when my father bought a toy, it never broke. How come? He never let me touch it.
Relax. You're among friends. Levi's 100% cotton Dockers.
When she was only 8 years old, her father killed her best friend. For 20 years, she repressed it. Why? She'll tell you why tonight.
If you're stranded in the wilderness, try to stay calm.
2 to 3 days? Where are we going to sleep? What if an animal visits?
Make a plan for survival.
If they don't find us here and we starve to death, I want you to know you can eat my body.
And be prepared for anything.
What if something unforeseen should happen?
Like what? Ooh.
Northern Exposure Monday.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. United Airlines, come fly the airline that spans more than half the world. And by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
And a nice shot of the city across the water here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And Magic may be smiling at the water. As a matter of fact, Magic perhaps will be back on Thursday when the Packers entertain Chicago Bears.
I talked to him before the game, and Majowski says, hey, I'll be available. I could play today if they get some injuries, but they want me to be available for the Thursday night game against the Bears. That's our main focus for me right now. And there's Jimmy Johnson we talked about. He's not happy. Look at him right now. Arms are folded, little body language working there. And you know Jimmy Johnson went in that locker room and just started ripping, telling guys, hey, you let down at the end of that half. You were ineffective. Whether they were or not is irrelevant. It's an opportunity for a head coach to get a team that is favored, that is ahead, and keep them focused and keep them up.
I guess going back to the top of the show when we said he wants his team to be cautiously confident. Ken Willis to kick off for the Cowboys. Sickahema and Wilson back. And Wilson from the 18. Across the 30. Wilson could be gone. Touchdown, Green Bay, no flags. An 82-yard kickoff return by Charles Wilson, alias Sweet Feet.
Kick is good. We've got a 14-10 game right now after that 82-yard kickoff return by Charles Wilson. Willis popped that kickoff up. It was not a very deep kick. It was a return designed to be a middle return. Normally it disrupts it. Watch when he catches the ball, he will head right in here into the middle. Watch the gap open up right in here in the Dallas kickoff team. They're being aggressive. Look at that gap right there in the dirt infield. Wilson sees that. Then it's just Willis. Now watch, Willis will be on the ground. He slips. He falls. That's it. Now wait a minute, Charles. Don't start celebrating too soon. You still got people on your tail. He tucks it back in. Now he gets confident. Now I can start high-five.
The man who has a penchant for new shoes, roughly a new pair every couple of weeks. Therefore the nickname Sweet Feet. And was pretty nifty on that run indeed. Now a 4-point ball game. And Randy, you talk about Jimmy Johnson trying to shake his guys to reality in the conversation at halftime. Reason enough right there. Chris Jackie kicking off to the Cowboys. Touchback by Dixon, and the Cowboys will start from their own 20.
And this doesn't look like a noisy stadium, but I can tell you from experience, when you play in here and this crowd gets into the game, as now they are into the game, they can make life very miserable in this particular end zone coming this way. That crowd in the end zone can get screaming, they can get loud, and it can make really tough for the offensive team to hear the signals.
First and 10. Cowboys keep it on the ground as Smith takes it ahead for about 2. Will bring up a 2nd and 8.
The Dallas offense seems to be trying to make a point with Emmitt Smith, trying to run him inside, figuring eventually they're going to pop that big play. He is a guy that's gone 70. He's gone 60. But as solid as his Packer defense is in the middle, they're going to have to go back to what they were doing in the first half. That's hitting Novacek, hitting the back out of the backfield, and bringing the receivers underneath in the zones.
To Smith. Run out of bounds about 4 yards shy of the first down marker. Run out of bounds by Matt Brock. You talk about that effective Green Bay run defense. Dallas did not have a rushing first down in the first half at all.
Third and 5 on the 25.
Cowboys at their own 25. 3rd and 5.
Keep an eye on Michael Irvin.
To Novacek for the first down. Dropped by Roland Mitchell.
Novacek on the completion.
Boy, is Novacek a weapon and a half?
Well, he's a guy kind of like a Keith Jackson that you have the ability to take a big man like that, 6'4", 240 pounds, and you can put him in the slot. You can almost go into a nickel offense with a spread formation when you're on first or second down because of that ability. And Aikman and he have a great relationship on the field. Troy seems to be conscious of his position on the field. No matter where and when it is, he knows exactly where Jay Novacek is.
As well he should be aware. 6 catches for 60 yards, Jay Novacek. Smith, the tailback, out of the eye. Play action. And Aikman falls at about the 37-yard line, 3-yard gain, and Aikman a little slow getting up.
Well, he went into his quarterback, protect me and don't let him hit me slide there at the end of his run. He might have caught a knee in the back, it looked like.
What do you do?
Okay, let's take another look at it right here. Here comes Troy. Now watch Bennett right there. Oh, yeah. Look at that left knee. Went right into his lower back. One more time. Right, look at that knee, left knee right there into Troy's lower back, and that's what caused that little discomfort.
On 2nd and 7, Smith looks like he dove enough yardage for the first down. And that is the first rushing first down of the afternoon for the Cowboys.
There's a Dallas backup quarterback, Steve Beuerlein, who's had a great situation. You know, talking about Majowski. Majowski says to him before the game, he goes, you know, you're lucky. You spend part of your career now, you've been in L.A. Where do you go after that? You go to Dallas. I've been up here in Green Bay the whole time. I mean, Green Bay is a fun town. He says, but you've been in party towns.
That's why Majowski makes his home in the offseason down in Florida. 1st and 10, the pitch to Smith. And Smith, maybe a yard. Johnny Holland on the stop. 15 carries, 35 yards in the afternoon for Emmitt Smith. Boy, the yardage hard to come by for young Mr. Smith.
And we were talking about Beuerlein. He was over there trying to warm up a little bit, get his arm ready to go just in case Troy Aikman is a little bit slowed or more slowed by that little knee in the back he took.
Very gracious Green Bay folks here. It looks like they brought in the Milwaukee Brewers baseball organist here. 2nd and 8. Ball at the 46. Complete for the first down, and guess who? Jay Novacek. Mark Murphy. Now, Mark Murphy talked before the game about how he's played against a number of great tight ends. He's not playing against he's not playing against any more effective a tight end than Jay Novacek.
Well, there are better tight ends from an all-around standpoint. From a guy you might want to say, hey, he can block real good, but not many tight ends can do this. Look at this. This is Jay Novacek. This is a tight end flanked out as a wide receiver. How do you really figure that one? If you're going to play soft against a guy like that, 6'4", 240 with soft hands who can catch, you're just going to be giving up 8-10 yards every time on those receptions to that kind of receiver.
10:05 left in the 3rd period of play. Cowboys on top by 4. 1st and 10. Aikman throwing for the intended receiver, Alexander Wright. Wright came to the inside. Aikman threw to the outside.
And Brian Noble saying, oh, could that be more grounding or what? He threw that one away. There was nobody near it. Well, Brian, I think when you look at the films, you might have to agree. Troy was a victim of a zig when he thought there was going to be a zag. That zig will get you when they're supposed to be zagging every time.
Well, you worked that dictionary nicely, Randy. I was going to ask you about some of the other esoteric terms, the drag and the scrape, and you got the zig and the zag. 2nd and 10. Smith, the lone back. Complete to Wright. And Wright, trying to run to the first down marker, winds up about 2.5 yards shy of it. Leroy Butler on the tackle.
And we're seeing Dallas do right now what they did at the end of the second half. That's moving the ball down the field with short passes underneath. This is the kind of thing Norv Turner and Troy Aikman like to do. Norv Turner was under Ernie Zampese, who really learned that offense. Before him, from Don Coryell. And it's just something that's gone on and on and on. And each coach, and there you see Norv Turner on the left side of your screen right there, each coach that has learned it and brought it somewhere else has further refined it. And he's refined this offense, especially to the particular talents of this Dallas Cowboy offense.
From the 32 of Green Bay, 3rd and 3. Smith. And he's going to be short. Chuck Cecil up there assisting Robert Brown. Boy, Cecil likes to stick his head in there, does he not?
Oh, he's a guy, especially at his size. He's 6 foot, about 190 pounds. You wouldn't think so, but he can hit like a linebacker. The thing that really sticks out to me here is Dallas keeps insisting that they can run against this defense. They're being so effective with their short passing game. On a 3rd and 3 situation, you've got to think pass. On 4th and 3, they're going. And if I'm a defensive coach for the Green Bay Packers, I'm looking to get covered Novacek and Irvin and let somebody else get this first down.
4th and 2, play action. In the hands and out of the hands of Alfredo Roberts. He was there for the first down. And the hit applied by who?
And that's exactly what they did. They put Mark Murphy on Alfredo Roberts, took the other guys away. Roberts couldn't come up with a play.